Man with an axe runs amok in Germany. Several people were injured when a man wielding an axe went on a rampage at one of Germany's busiest railway stations. The attack took place at the central train station in Dusseldorf on Thursday evening. According to police, a 36-year-old suspect with psychological problems was arrested in connection with the incident. Witnesses said the man appeared to target victims at random. At least 7 people were injured, 3 of them severely. The suspect was also severely injured when he jumped from a nearby bridge, attempting to escape from the police. He was arrested at the scene. The police said the man lived in a town about 20 miles away from Dusseldorf and was originally from the former Yugoslavia. According to the cops, there were no other suspects, and they had no reason to believe the incident was related to terrorism.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Germany is in a state of high alert following several recent terrorist attacks.
Migrant murders woman with machete. 1 woman was killed and 2 others were injured by a machete-wielding man in southwest Germany on Sunday. The incident is the latest in a series of deadly civilian attacks in the country, coming just 2 days after a mass shooting in Munich. A Syrian refugee in the German city of Wuppertal was seen arguing with a female co-worker before attacking her with a machete. The 45-year-old Polish victim was critically injured and later died on the scene. The man rampaged through the street with his weapon, injuring one woman by smashing her car windshield and slashing another in the face. A driver spotted the attacker and hit him with his BMW. The man was knocked to the ground and later arrested. Authorities say the attack was not terror-related and may instead have been a crime of passion. The 21-year-old attacker had previously committed violent acts and was already known to police. The Berlin Christmas market attack, a complete timeline. Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack in which a truck plowed into a Christmas market outside Berlin's Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, killing at least 12 people on Monday evening. Truck driver Łukasz Rurban was delivering steel from Turin, Italy, to a warehouse in Berlin on Monday morning. The warehouse said they couldn't unload the delivery and told Rurban to return on Tuesday. Rurban then waited in Berlin with the delivery. He reportedly spoke to his wife at 3 p.m. before losing contact. It is believed that his truck was hijacked during this time. The company that owns the truck said the truck's GPS history shows unusual movements from 3:45 p.m. onwards, which indicate Rurban was not in control and the truck was perhaps being driven by someone learning how to drive. There was no more movement until 7:40 p.m. when the truck plowed into the crowds at a Berlin Christmas market before it came to a halt. The suspect was seen leaving the vehicle. Rurban was found dead in the passenger seat of the truck. He appeared to have been stabbed and shot to death. A 23-year-old Pakistani national was arrested at the Tiergarten Park near the Christmas market shortly after the attack. However, his DNA did not match the DNA inside the truck, and he was released. Officials believe the suspect is still at large. German authorities are urging people to remain extra vigilant and to report any suspicious movements. Afghan refugee attacks German train passengers. Several German train passengers were wounded yesterday when they were attacked by an armed 17-year-old refugee. An Afghan refugee with an axe and a knife attacked passengers on a commuter train in southern Germany on Monday night. According to reports, the 17-year-old assailant shouted "Allah Akbar" during the attack. 4 passengers were injured, 3 of them severely. Reports said a passenger pulled an emergency brake and the attacker fled the train near the town of Würzburg. The attacker was shot dead by police as he ran away. Investigators were working to establish a motive for the attack. According to reports, 4 members of the same Hong Kong family were injured in the attack. However, the severity of their injuries was unclear. 14 passengers were treated for shock. Authorities said the 17-year-old refugee had traveled to Germany unaccompanied to seek asylum. He had been living with a foster family in the nearby town of Oxenfurt for some time. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Syrian refugee blows himself up at German music festival. Germany was struck by yet another attack late Sunday, when a refugee who had been denied asylum in the country blew himself up. An explosion took place in Ansbach, Germany, after a Syrian national blew himself up outside a music festival. The 27-year-old refugee was reportedly refused entry to the festival because he had no ticket. At around 10 p.m., a bomb in his possession exploded, killing him and injuring 12 others, 3 critically. Authorities say the refugee made his way to Germany from Syria in 2014. His application for asylum was rejected in 2015, but he was allowed to stay temporarily. Ansbach is also home to a U.S. Army base. However, the explosion occurred several miles from it. The bomber had reportedly tried to commit suicide twice previously and had received treatment for mental health issues.
ISIS terror warning prompts Munich officials to close 2 train stations on New Year's Eve. Less than 2 months after the bloody Paris attacks claimed 130 lives, a city in the German state of Bavaria is on high alert following an Islamic State terrorism scare. Around 7:40 p.m. on Thursday, officials received a tip from intelligence sources in the US and France about possible ISIS terror threats in Munich. The tip indicated that 5 to 7 militants from Iraq and Syria would carry out a suicide attack in the Bavarian capital, prompting officials to close down and evacuate 2 busy train stations, one in the city center and another in the western Pasing district. As of Friday morning, at least 550 heavily armed and specially equipped officers were posted all around the city. The 2 train stations reopened some 8 hours later, after the immediate threat of an attack had been lifted. Though no arrests have been made, police remain in general alert and are investigating possible suspects.